the Employment Equality Abolition of Mandatory Retirement Age Bill 2016, second stage. I now call on Deputy John Brady to move the second reading motion and to proceed to the second stage speech.
Thank you, Cathaoirleach. Minister, Yoko Ono, believe it or not, once said that some people are old at 18 and some are young at 90, and that time is a concept that humans created. And I want to begin by thanking the individuals and the organisations that have come out in support of this bill and in support of the end to the mandatory retirement age. Age Action Ireland, Active Retirement Ireland, the National Women's Council of Ireland, and indeed Professor John Crown, who formally brought forward a bill to abolish the mandatory retirement age also. I also want to acknowledge former Deputy Anne Ferris, who had brought forward this bill back in 2014 also. And Minister, to put this into perspective, if the rules we allow employers to set for ordinary workers out there were to be set in here, in this House, how many TDs, realistically, would be sitting in the chamber? Not here tonight, but maybe on any other night. Does any TD in here believe that their age impacts on the job that they do every day? If the answer to this is no, which I'm sure it is, then how can we simply assume and allow age to impact on others' ability to work? It is very easy to make rules in here for others out there that do not and will not impact on people in here in this chamber. This bill provides us with an opportunity to at least right this wrong and allow choices for workers. Age does not determine whether or not a person can do their job. This bill is fundamentally about choice. It is about saying to workers that if you want to, you can continue to work beyond 65 or 66, or indeed you can retire earlier if you so wish and you think you have the means to do so. And there are many different reasons why a person may choose to continue to work beyond 65 or 66, be it for financial reasons or social reasons or simply to avoid isolation. And the choice afforded to all parties and TDs here this evening is simple. Should workers have a choice when it comes to their retirement? The National Positive Ageing Strategy published by the Government states that there is evidence that longer working lives have beneficial effects on individuals' well-being and that productivity does not necessarily decline with age. Any decline is easily compensated by qualities and skills acquired through experience. Since I introduced this bill in December, I have received numerous emails and phone calls from many parts of the state. And I just want to mention one here this evening from a lady named Anne, who emailed me about her late husband, who was forced onto job seekers after being forced to retire at the age of 65. She told me, "My husband gladly paid taxes all his life. He should not have been forced onto job seekers. My husband did not make a decision to retire. He had to retire at 65 years of age. Not only do I have to live with the loss of my husband every day, but I live with the knowledge that during my husband's final 6 months, he faced the frustrations that this system imposed upon him." This is the impact that mandatory retirement has had on one couple, and this is only one story of many, many more that are out there. And Minister, the scandal of 65-year-olds being forced onto a job seeker's payment for 1 year as they wait for the state pension cannot be allowed to continue. This is a serious issue that was brought in 2012 and is having a huge impact on many people out there. And Minister, there are currently more 65-year-olds in receipt of job seekers' benefit than any other age group in the state. 5,239 men and women aged 65 in receipt of job seekers' payments. Not only is this a huge problem now, but it will become more of a problem come the year 2021, when the pension age raises again to 67, and even more so in 2028, when the pension age will be 68. We need to address this anomaly now, and that can be done through this bill. One of the greatest challenges facing us as a country is sustaining the state pension into the future. According to the latest census figures for 2011, there are more than 530,000 people aged 65 and over, and just 128,000 aged 85 years and plus. By the year 2046, 1.4 million people will be aged 65 and over, and 470,000 will be aged 85 and over. If we look at this from solely a financial perspective, then clearly it makes more sense for workers to continue paying into the exchequer rather than receiving payments from it. Another anomaly, another very serious anomaly that will be addressed in the passing of this bill is the difficulty of reaching the necessary 520 contributions to receive the state pension. The huge increase from 260 to 520 contributions needed to qualify for the state pension has left many people, particularly women, it has to be said, who may have taken career breaks over their working lives to look after loved ones or family members without actually hitting the necessary 520 contributions. And this is evident in the 36,000 women so far who have applied for a state pension since 2012 and are now on smaller pensions than they would have received if they had retired prior to 2012. By abolishing mandatory retirement, we will give people an opportunity to work and build up the necessary contributions, and therefore avoid a lesser pension payment and also avoid possible poverty in older years. And this again is only a choice. Minister Varadkar has reminded us time and time again there is no mandatory retirement in Ireland, yet Irish law permits employers to impose mandatory retirement ages in employee contracts in both public and private sectors. That is the issue at the heart of the debate here this evening. We are aware that there may be some minor technical structuring issues within the bill, but having met with departmental officials, we are confident that this can and will be overcome at committee stage with amendments. And certainly we are open to amendments. We are glad to accept all amendments because the bill, I think, is so important that we're big enough to accept those amendments. The bill itself includes exemptions from those in security-related employment, such as the prison service and so on, and this reflects the position in existing equality legislation. And current legislation states that mandatory retirement can be allowed in cases where it is objectively and reasonably justifiable, which leaves for a very broad interpretation by the courts. It is for that reason that we want to see this strengthened, to ensure that the abolition of mandatory retirement is a reality. We owe it to every single worker in the state to give them a choice when it comes to their retirement. We must end the facilitation of ageism and outright discrimination of workers. And this is fundamentally a rights issue, a human rights issue for workers out there. And I would urge all parties from right across the table to support this bill. And as I have stated already, we are open to amendment. We are not saying the bill is perfect. It is not perfection. We are open to amendments. We want to get broad support from across the chamber and get it into committee and make the changes that are necessary to end this discrimination that has existed and continues to exist. So I'm glad to bring the bill to the floor here, and I'm going to listen with interest to the contribution. So I'm going to hand it over to my colleague now, Deputy Caoimhín Ó Caoimhín.